each other. They play all the time. Look at this, double hot sauce action.
And over on Rob's side, we see, Show and Tell, Dream Hulls, Omniscience, Emrakul, a lot of things you're used to. 4 copies of Enter the Infinite.
Enter the Infinite? What does that do?
That is, I believe it costs 19 or 56 mana.
73. 73.
And you draw your entire deck, and you have, you put a card from your hand on top of your library, and you have no maximum hand size. So it allows him to draw his entire deck. Using Omniscience, he can cast that for free, and then he can cast every spell in his deck for free. He has a Cunning Wish to go get really whatever he wants. So they're tied up 1-1, going to game 3. I'm excited to maybe see the Infinite be entered.
Enter the Infinite to me sounds like a forgotten Bruce Lee movie or something. You're like, Enter the Infinite, and it's like, oh, this really secret Bruce Lee movie that finally has been discovered in the vaults, remastered and put out for our our viewing pleasure.
Yeah, right off all the scraps of the cutting room floor put together into Enter the Infinite.
Right. Joe Bernal on the right, a player that we've seen fairly often in our Star City Games events in a top 8. I feel like Joe Bernal is a total Star City Games grinder, the kind of guy that we would expect to play the not fun, I'm here to win kind of deck. And he is playing Esper Stoneblade, which some people might accuse of being that deck. But you know what? If it is that deck, it has not shown it in the results. It wins about as often as it is represented. So that is to say, about 10% of the time.
Yeah, it's a choice it's a choice that a lot of the grinders and the more recognized names choose to make, and I don't think it's had success in the way you might expect.
Yeah, I think it performs as well as other tier 1 decks perform, which is to say, good, but not something that would draw you away from other things unless you're particularly good at that deck. Turn 2, Ancient Tomb, Show and Tell. You got anything for me? Force of Will, Spell Pierce, Daze.
And we see
Brainstorm. Ooh.
And in Rob's hand, we do see an Emrakul, a Preordain, and I believe I saw a Misdirection. And so we'll see what Joe can come up with. I think I see 2 Force of Wills in his hand. We'll see if he has 2 blue cards to be able to cast both of those. I think he is going to need both to prevent this Show and Tell from resolving. And we see 2 cards. Joe thinking about which 2 to put back. A really big turn here. The potential to have an Emrakul in play, which is never good for the person it's across from. Puts back an Extirpate and Extirpate in hand. We see a Force of Will removing Geist, and then we see a Force of Will removing Misdirection, or Misdirection removing Force of Will.
I can't tell which one's removing which.
And
unfortunately for Joe, they have the same effect.
Oh wow, and Joe has a second Force of Will, but no second blue card.
Yeah, Emrakul comes into play, and Joe, he's got this turn to do something about it.
And Extirpate, I think I see a Thoughtseize, Stoneforge Mystic, that Force of Will that we just mentioned.
Detention Sphere.
And Stoneforge Mystic not matching up favorably with Emrakul.
So Emrakul is doing its best Cthulhu impression. It's driving Joe mad. Yeah, Joe with a smile.
And so I think pretty soon we are going to see an Annihilator trigger. Joe getting a Batter Skull.
Okay. Going through the motions for camera time.
And attack. There goes the board.
Joe no longer allowed to talk. He has no permanence.
not a concession, just scooping up all of his permanents and putting them in the graveyard.
Kill me, I'm here.
A Preordained sees an Omniscience and another card. One's going on the bottom, one on the top.
And in case you're wondering, no, there are no innocent bloods in Joe's 75 cards. He is just letting Rob play. And Rob's like, fine, I got a Sensei's Divining Top. I'll do that.
Well, we could still see Enter the Infinite. Or maybe Joe is planning on letting Rob deal himself 17 damage with that Ancient Tomb, and we'd see the concession there.
The quick scoop, Rob Vaca, the champion of the the match, raises his hands, the hot sauce champion.
Champion of the hot sauce tournament.
That's right, champion of the hot sauce match-off.
So a pretty quick match there, or at least a quick game 3.